Why do partners cheat? Some of the opinion that men in particular are naturally polygamous. But is that entirely true? If we claim that men are naturally polygamous, I want to look at it from a biological perspective. Let's dive deeper. But when we go into biology, the argument completely falls apart because what we think is biologically acceptable is not really acceptable. Let's go into the animal kingdom to understand this better. From a biological perspective, some animals are naturally polygamous and some are naturally monogamous. And I think that's one of the reasons why some men have used it as an argument to say that they cheat because men are naturally polygamous. But in terms of biology, sexuality is not tied to male or female alone. If a particular animal is polygamous, all genders in that animal species will be polygamous as well. If an animal is monogamous, all gender in that animal species will also be monogamous. So what sets humans apart? Now, in the animal kingdom, not an elephant seal can have as many as 50 female partners. And then the lowland gorilla also is known for having multiple partners. In fact, the gorillas, the one who head a particular group of gorillas, is often a male and he has multiple females under his watch, which he often has intercourse with them. Lions practice mixed or shared polygamy. Coalitions of 2 or more males, often brothers, mate with a pride of females, and both sexes will often mate with multiple partners. Those are a few examples of polygamous animals. But looking around you, even the animals around you like dogs and cats are very polygamous. Now, for the monogamous animals, we see animals like grey wolves, Eurasian beavers, bald eagles, and parrots as monogamous animals. Parrots especially are known to be very, very monogamous. And in fact, the word lovebird was coined because of this observation. Lovebirds are one of the most loyal partners you can find in the world. They often be with one partner till they die. And even if their partner dies before them, most of them will remain celibate till they die. So you can see that these animals are naturally wired to be somewhat monogamous. So now, how does this argument apply to humans? And how does it show that the entire stereotype that men are naturally polygamous is completely based on factless fables? Naturally speaking, humans are polygamous in nature. However, society has made us to choose either of monogamy or polygamy based on the religion and the society at the time. If men alone were polygamous, then to be understandable why maybe men might cheat. But in a world where we see increased cases of paternity discrepancy, we can see that humans are polygamous regardless of gender. If that was the case, then why would women see men and still lust after them and have intercourse with them despite being married? It's because naturally humans are polygamous regardless of gender. But I'm in no way trying to support infidelity among partners, because from societal perspective and historically, different societies adopted different patterns based on what worked well for them. Ancient Rome enforced by law, and they saw polygamy as a barbarian practice to protect property inheritance. Ancient Greece practiced formal monogamy. A man could legally only have one wife to provide legitimate heirs. Ancient Egypt maintained a culture of overwhelmingly monogamous equal partnership backed by heavy legal penalties for infidelity. Ancient Mesopotamia codified via the Code of Hammurabi. Secondary wives were restricted only to cases of severe illness or infertility. Now, for Christianity, it established a strict one-flesh lifelong monogamous ideal, which permanently reshaped Western legal frameworks. And this is not truly seen in the Bible, yes, but then later Christian traditions from the church fathers made it a kind of practice that men should marry only one wife. Other religions such as Sikhism mandated strict monogamy via the Anand Karaj ceremony, viewing marriage as an equal fusion of two souls. Zoroastrianism from ancient Persia promoted equal pairing of one man and one woman, drastically reducing regional Persian polygamy. When we go to Asia, Buddhism encouraged social monogamy, ethically to prevent domestic suffering, jealousy, and desire caused by multiple partners. Judaism, through its modern evolution, transitions from biblical polygamy to total monogamy, officially banned for Ashkenazi Jews in the 11th century. Previously, Jewish people accepted polygamy and it was even encouraged in the Bible. But later on, especially as Ashkenazi Jews were in Europe, they began to adopt monogamy. However, some societies adopted polygamy and they even encouraged it. One of them that chiefly encouraged it was African traditional societies. They institutionalized polygyny to expand lineages for ancestor veneration, secure cultural labor, and provide widows a social safety net. Aboriginal Australia embodied polygyny into the dreaming law, and elder men received multiple wives as a reward for spiritual wisdom, creating efficient foraging teams. When we go into the oceans of the Pacific, ancient Polynesia reserved polygyny for high chiefs, alii, to consolidate land and divine power, which is known as mana. Ancient China codified a strict hierarchy of one primary wife and multiple concubines for emperors and elites to guarantee dynastic heirs, because one wife may not give your wife a heir. So they had multiple concubines as well to guarantee that they had a heir. And in case, because then China used to fight multiple wars, so it was seen as a win for them if they had multiple successors. So in case one of them was killed in war, the others could rule over the country. Islam capped the historical practice of unlimited polygamy to a maximum of 4 wives, mandating absolute equal financial and emotional treatment. Hinduism historically accommodated polygamy for ancient kings and deities in epic texts like the Mahabharata to build political alliances. Mormonism in the 19th century also permitted polygamy, and it was continued until 20th or 21st century when it was somewhat seen as obsolete and outlawed among the majority. But one of them still practiced, one of those sects of Mormonism still practice polygamy, and they live, I think, in Salt Lake City, Utah. However, most modern societies adopted monogamy because it was more convenient and easier to manage, as it seemed more economic to maintain a nuclear family, and the rural agricultural lifestyle that permitted most West Africans to have multiple wives and multiple children was no longer the status quo of most of West Africans, especially for Nigeria, as we transitioned from having a primarily agrarian society, because Nigeria at first was largely agrarian. Our largest export was agricultural produce. But as time went by and we became more reliant on crude oil, more people began to acquire education and more people began to move out of the rural areas and settle down in the urban areas, and the perspective of multiple wives began to fade away. For example, my grandparents, my paternal grandfather, had 5 wives. Imagine that, one man to 5 wives. But then later on, I think it's a polygamous, although some of his partners maybe passed away, some of them maybe left the marriage, but at least he was left with 2 wives out of the 5. My mother's grandfather, he married 15 wives, and the land which they occupy is actually large. It's so large enough that it could become an estate if it were developed appropriately. It has rice farms, it has a clinic, and even a school inside of it. My immediate grandfather from my mother's side, my mother's dad, he had 2 wives at first before he later passed away. So when we see the historical perspective of human society, and even when we look at our immediate relatives, I mean chimpanzees, monkeys, gorillas, we can see that they are heavily polygamous. However, it doesn't mean that because monkeys do all these things and humans should also do them as well. Humans are a different species of their own, and the way they do things is and should be different from the ways of other primates and other lower animals. However, this shows us that the argument that men are naturally polygamous and that we have the autonomy to cheat on our partners without any consequences is completely false. And when humans decided to pick up monogamy as a standard across the globe, it was based on mutual respect and mutual agreement, not based on one party forcing it on the other. So if you choose to be monogamous, stick to your wife. And if you choose to be polygamous, discuss it with your partner before you get married. And this will help you stay out of any potential problem when you begin to consider other potential partners in your polygamous lifestyle. However, polygamy is still practiced in Nigeria, mostly by the Muslims, and a few Christians who have not fully accepted the culture of monogamy in Christianity. Like, I even have relatives who are Christians, but they are polygamous. They have at least 2 wives. But again, this is becoming less and less of a culture. And even when polygamy was the norm, not everyone was still marrying multiple wives. Some still stuck to 1 wife, and some married 2, 3, 4, 5 wives. But one of the very reasons why most of them took multiple partners was because they had very large acres of farmland, and they didn't want to employ farm laborers, and they also want to buy slaves. So their solution to that was to marry multiple wives, give birth to children, and you and your family work on your property. And so you will have free laborers on your farmland, and these free laborers will live with you. You feed them, you clothe them, you shelter them. And number 1, they are not like laborers that will run away. Number 2, they're not like slaves that would rebel or run away from you. So you treat them well, your family members, they be with you. And that was the culture then. So again, are men naturally polygamous, and is that why we cheat? Yes, men are naturally polygamous, but also so are the women folk. So let's stop deceiving ourselves. If you want a loyal partner, you too should also be loyal. As even the Bible says, do to others as you will have them do to you. Thank you, and see you in my next video. Kindly don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you have an opinion contrary to mine.